coordinator Tyson Summers. We'll just jump right into questions. Samantha, you want to start us off?
Sure, Tyson. Going from tough loss at Alabama, did that help at all for the defense to really bring to light some mistakes and help get that shutout win on Saturday?
Yeah, I think our guys have been motivated all year for sure, and I think obviously, you know, they were upset and frustrated. You know, like I said, we had some missed opportunities in that game. I thought they really came, and I thought we had our best 3 days of practice we've had all fall. With Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and so they were able to put it together. Really proud of the way they played on Saturday and handled themselves, and a lot of it goes back to kind of what I said a week ago. You know, we had some missed opportunities in the previous game, but we were a lot better defense, we felt like, than what we showed that day, and so fortunately we were able to execute and play well together on Saturday.
Darius came up with a huge play for you guys defensively. One of those plays that you guys kind of pride yourselves on, which is, I think would be even bigger coming from him, having missed all last year. Just kind of talk about his comeback.
Yeah. So Darius, who he's referencing is Darius Thomas, number 3 for us. You know, Darius has been here, kind of like you said, that this is his 3rd season. Darius was a person I recruited right when I got hired. The first 2 people I went and saw were him and Virgil Marshall. I think I got hired on a Monday, and on Tuesday I was flying to Florida to see them. Darius got a great family, got great parents, and a big community around him that supports him, and had a really good freshman year. You know, talking about playing Middle Tennessee, he's playing corner as a true freshman that year, picks up a pass and has a pick 6 in the game in 2022. Comes back and is really one of our, you know, we felt like one of our top 2 or 3 like MVPs of spring practice, and was playing linebacker, and you know, just kind of has a freak accident, truthfully, in the first 5 minutes one day, and in the summer, and has an injury, and misses all last season, like you said, and you know, he came back through the spring and had a good spring, but he had an amazing fall camp. He really did a good job this summer of being able to put the work in. I know between Jess and the training staff and the athletic training room and the weight room, those guys have done an amazing job with him. But we certainly feel like he can be one of the best players in the conference. You know, Darius is special to me for a lot of different reasons because I recruited him. He had a really challenging week, which made him a more important week. He had a really challenging week, had a tragedy in his family during the week, and then was able to kind of, you know, go play for a family member of his and go play well on Saturday. So I was really happy for him.
You know, looking at that game, really in the beginning, you know, the playing looked like you're playing man across the front, whole front there. You know, you all were able to take advantage defensively and kind of control them for the most part of the game. They had 266 total yards of offense. Most of that came on the ground there, especially in the second half. You know, just kind of your thoughts on, you know, how the defense played throughout the game.
I thought we played well. Again, Dallas, I thought really did a great job with the defensive line. For the 2nd week in a row, he was actually had our highest production of everybody on the defense. It doesn't usually happen with a nose tackle, but it was with Dallas. I thought he had a great game. I think he had 6 tackles in the game, a TFL. He had 2 extra effort plays. I thought Marcus, again, had another really good game. I thought Hosea played one of his best games since he had been here. I thought Terrion Thompson did a great job all week with his leadership. He was a captain for the game for us this past week. So I thought they did well. I thought Kylan did a nice job with a lot of things, the outside backer with he and Sebastian. We spoke about Darius earlier playing well. Anthony Brackenridge continues to improve, continues to get better. We did some really nice things in the secondary. Devontae Matthews, I don't know if you saw it, but it's just really indicative of this group of players that we have. We had a 4th down, and they get a run that goes for 35, 40 yards. It's one of the 2 explosives we gave up on the day, and Devontae, was able to haul the guy down, tackles him, lays out 2-3 yard line, tackles him by an inch, and then we're able to get a goal line stand, and they missed the field goal. So Devontae, I thought, played his best game. Thought Upton continues to play extremely well. DeMarco Williams is playing well back there. Keyshawn, Anthony Johnson, continues to play well for us. And I thought Kent did a really good job stepping in for us at corner last week. But like I said, they're great. They're a great group. They're a lot of fun to coach, be around, and we'll just try to continue to improve each day.
They had a lot of their success when they looked at that option quarterback. You know, I know you guys were expecting it, but they still had some success with it. Does Middle Tennessee offer some various looks like that you got to be worried about?
Yeah, we were hoping to talk them out of it, to be honest with you. You know, the quarterback we talked about last week in here, he had played in the Cincinnati game early the year before. I was really just trying to talk him out of it, but he did. He played, and we were prepared. There were a lot of different things they had shown. They had shown in the game. They had never been in an empty set, and they came out in a 4-by-1 empty almost immediately. They had a lot of different unbalanced pictures. They had both quarterbacks in the game at some point, and I thought our players did a tremendous job, particularly in the first, 15 to 20 plays of being able to manage all the different things that were going on, in the game. And ultimately, they played. We made mistakes. Don't get me wrong. We made mistakes, but they played really, really hard. They communicated. They got on the same page, and like I said, we just didn't wind up giving up nearly as many explosives. I think we had 2 on the day. The one was the 4th down play we talked about earlier, and we had one more pass that got out on us. But other than that, there was only 2, and that put us at about 3% for the day. And then we were at 21% on creating havoc that day, and that's ultimately the 2 biggest stats of it for us.
When you look at that nearly 12-minute drive that they have here at the start of the half, obviously they get down to the goal line, 4th down, they don't the field goal attempt. Just what is your viewpoint on that drive there, and how the defense was able to, obviously they got back down to the goal line, but still able to come out of that and not score.
Yeah, I think, it kind of even goes back to the end of the year, the last 3 or 4 games, even at the end of last season, Sam Houston kind of felt like that same thing. Certainly ODU did that in the bowl game where we were able to have goal line stands, latex. So, I think that's just kind of the caliber and the makeup of the group that we've got. Again, I thought Devontae did a great job of being able to not quit and to continue to run, and lays out, chases a guy, tackles him at the 2. I think it was the next play. We did a great job. Our defensive line got a lot of vertical penetration, kept the running back from being able to get downhill. I think Upton made the TFL on the first one. Then the next one was Jay Love, took the guard about 3 or 4 yards back. Devin Lynch was the next play, forced them to try to kick a field goal, and they miss it. So again, a lot of energy and enthusiasm on our sideline, and again, I think our guys just continue to enjoy those moments to step up.
You talked about communication with all those different formations and sets that WKU was able to run between your players. How important is that going to be heading into away game and a rivalry game?
Yeah, it's every week, as we kind of go through these things, we talk about, the ABCs of defense, and we kind of put it up each day to talk about, and, start with ABCs. That's all out effort, and then, again, the C in that is communication. It's discipline and believing in yourself. And so a huge part of it is communication. I think our defensive backs coaches, with Von Brown and Jason Martin, have done a tremendous job of getting our DBs to talk and communicate, and the adjustments that come back there. Davis Merritt does a great job with our linebackers and getting those guys, Anthony Brackenridge and Darius and Chandler Matthews, really do a nice job of getting everybody on the same page, especially Anthony. And then Carson Hall and Cap Dede with the defensive line have done a good job with that. But that's one of the 3 fundamental things we talk about every day we've got to be great at.
Looking at Middle Tennessee, over your few years here, that game defensively has always made, the defense has always made big plays, big time moments. Somebody else throwing you on quite a few interceptions and clutch moments there. For this week for you, just preparing for this game, what do you see
Yeah, it'll be a lot different. Obviously, they've been air raid for the last 2 years, and obviously Coach Mason coming in, and Bodie Reeder with being the offensive coordinator. Bodie's been at a lot of different places, been with Coach Hill, been with Coach Friend, like we talked about earlier. Kendall Simmons, their O-line coach, does a great job with the offensive line, and Cornelius Williams, their receivers coach. I feel like I've known Cornelius since he was 17 or 18 years old, so I know a lot of those guys. guys, but they do a really good job. At the end of the day, the quarterback is a really, really good player. I really think a lot of the quarterback. He's a talented guy. He can run. He can throw. You can see him in the Ole Miss game last week where he's able to really put it in some small, tight windows, and then he's able to obviously scramble around. I can't remember exactly what the statistic was going into last year. They had played 4 or 5 games, and he already had 500-something yards rushing. The 2 running backs, were back with Frank and with Jaden. I think they're both really, really good backs, downhill runners, explosive. They look faster to me, than they did a year ago. They look a little slimmer. They do a great job with ball security, the offensive line. They've got 3 big bodies back, and they've got 2 transfers. Again, Kendall does a great job with them, trying to really play aggressively, and I think they're doing a good job with that. The tight end, number 83 for them, is a dynamic player. I think he's one of the better players in our league. He can block, but he can certainly become a mismatch problem for people as a tight end in a receiver spot. And had a great game last week versus Ole Miss. And they brought in 3-4 transfer receivers that do a good job. They're able to catch the intermediate route and are able to really do a good job with that on 3rd down. And you can see them last week just running by some of the guys they're going against. So I think they do a really good job offensively, and there'll be a big challenge for us this week. We understand what this week means, big rivalry and 100 miles of hate. So we've got to do everything we can do to get ready.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank y'all.